Second is also be aware of how are you creating it, because then you optimize it. That's value capture part. And let's go further and look at things. The strategy is not made all equal for all companies of all sizes. There is a time and point where you need to have a particular strategy at a particular stage. So this is a slide from the Harvard Business School that categorizes where do you belong as a company, what stage are you as a company, and what strategy fits you best. It organizes on the initial stage 1 and 2, where you're barely from the existence, you have an idea that has just taken off, and now you are surviving to prove that this market has potential and I will exist, I'll find my place. That's stage 1 and 2. What happens in the management style is the number of people in the team are very small, so you do not have a wide enterprise, so the visibility of strategy is straightforward and clear. Do you need strategy at this point? Absolutely yes, because you cannot have strategy as a day 3 when you get big. Most companies are tempted to say, let me write strategy when I make a lot of money. I will hire some strategy officer. You need to all play strategy officers at your levels using these frameworks to start early. Now, what are the things that you need as the boxes in which you operate at a very early stage? Ownership, leadership, management, and the execution team. They may be all the same when you're very small. As you scale bigger, the ownership team, the leadership team, the management team, and the execution team may not all be the same, and they cannot be the same. If you take examples like Disney and Apple, there's such a wide difference. If you look at Walmart, the ownership has no probable connection with the execution team. They are independent stakeholders. Strategy is a way to communicate to all of them, where are we going with this? As you're trying to look, maintaining profitable status quo, gaining market share, going global, venture capital looks for companies with the discipline of strategy to make decisions on investments. It could be infrastructure, equipment, staffing, operations, sales, technology. They look at companies that show discipline, so they're de-risking their investments. So even as a startup, all the way to a resource stage 5, where you're a mature company, venture capital and private equity look at de-risking their things by looking at companies with strategy. What exactly are the elements of good strategy? If we do not understand these pieces, what would be very hard is to understand how do you measure good strategy. Feeling good about posters on the walls is not good strategy. It should serve these 4 most important traits. You think it's value proposition that's captured. Has it been validated by people outside the company? That is what is called a unique value proposition, the UVP. Do not confuse it with internal validation as a way to think we are awesome. Get the checkpoint from the customers, partners, vendors, ecosystem, institutes, research places of that industry to say, we think we are special. Do you think we are special? It's a hard question, but that's the first element of a good strategy, is to have clarity on outside validation, not inside illusion. Second is it deep enough? Is your value creation incremental or exponential? Take a look at ChatGPT and the generative AI technologies. There are 3-4 players who want to offer the same type of thing, but they have taken first mover advantage strategy. But their value is very deep. Consistently gives them values from LLMs that are advanced. If you look at tailored, is it tailoring to that particular user, for that particular audience, for that particular need in that particular geography? You need to capture these 4 pieces together. Then you are doing what is called a tailored and total value capture. You can do all of this, but someone can catch up and replicate and mimic you, right? The clone syndrome. You need to be making sure you are more nimble than your rivals. If you're not more nimble than your rivals, your choices, adaptability, and focus may be out-rivaled by someone else. So a good strategy is political maneuvering to capture territory. Someone can do that to you if you're not fast enough. Let's look at this framework called the PESTEL framework. Why is this one of the favorite frameworks of mine? It's very simple, because you may have a brilliant product. Let's take a boat. You can polish the boat all you want. One tsunami is all it takes to wipe it out. What you want to do is look at, is there a tsunami happening in your industry? Are you caught up with the awareness of it? Is it going to impact your company? What is the PESTEL? P, the political landscape. If you're working in an environment where the political landscape is going to impact your stability as a delivery engine, be watchful of it. There may be some possibilities that will impact you directly. There is an economical part also, which is you may have built the best product for the best market, but the economic situation does not warranty someone to pay the money for it. You'll be in trouble. So watch out for, are you priced right? Are you rightly priced in the right markets? A product in the West, if sold in the East, cannot have the same pricing strategy as a product built in the East being sold in the West. It has to be locally adaptable from an economic standpoint. Social acceptance. You also need to be aware of changing trends in the social factors. There are times when a particular product is accepted more and times when it's not accepted more. You need to be aware of those social patterns. The cultural behaviors of that geography and industry is something you need to watch for. Let's look at technological. You may have built something that becomes technologically irrelevant, especially in the current scenario, if you're not having a team inside that is technically advanced. Not just a tech that you buy off the shelf from a Microsoft or an Amazon. Internally, are you aware of the technological shifts happening in your space? It also helps you scale faster and spend less. Environmentally, there may be some implications to, if you are in crypto, for example, an environmental legislation about mining and regulatory around that piece can actually halt your business completely. If you are into online gambling, a legislative thing can completely stop all action and put you to grind in that geography, but you may have to work and adapt it in a different geography. These are real examples with real companies of Magma. So just to be aware of, in the PESTEL, the PESTEL, which one is your greatest impact, which one is the lowest impact. They all don't happen equally, they happen in pockets.